Good afternoon. On today's news broadcast, repaired wheelchairs, a fire in Oklahoma, and a tiny cast. Plus local sports, weather, and more. APSU-TV News starts right now. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Brandon Crosslin.
And I'm Rachel LeJeune.
Austin Peay has another musical to showcase, a grand night for singing directed by Noel Rinderfelt and choreographed by Margaret Rinderfelt. The musical director is Dr. Christopher Bailey. The musical opened last night, April 12th, and will be showed until Sunday the 15th. Showings are at 7:30 p.m. at the Traherne Theater and matinee showings are at 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. General admissions is $15. Student, military, and senior tickets are all $10. For more information, contact the box office at 931-221-7379.
Inmates in Wisconsin prison are helping make lives of veterans a little bit easier. They repaired wheelchairs for vets who went on a tour of Washington, D.C. CNN's Sarah Thompson reports.
Well, I'm a manual refurbisher. We refurbish wheelchairs.
Once a week, inmates say it's like Christmas. A new shipment of damaged, dirty, and broken medical equipment arrives at Red Granite Correctional in dire need of some TLC.
They look pretty rough.
Their mission, make it like new again.
Everyone knows someone who has some form of disability that uses this kind of stuff, so I like to think that it's my family using it, or someone I know who's using it, so I'll put everything that I can into it when I'm putting it back together and making sure it works properly.
They clean the equipment once in a high-powered washing machine, then take it all apart.
Just taking every nut and bolt, you got to take everything off.
Every inch of the chair is cleaned again with tiny brushes, and like a puzzle, pieced back together.
We'll draw up blueprints or take notes if things go a certain way in.
Within a day or two, they have a like-new wheelchair ready for a new home.
I'm very proud of what I do because I know I'm getting back to somebody that really needs it, so I like it.
A way to give back to our nation's veterans.
We own 70 wheelchairs, and for them to be able to have a wheelchair that they know is ready for them to sit in and safe for them to go, that's a huge thing.
Inmates in the Durable Medical Equipment Refurbishing Program help maintain, sanitize, and clean the wheelchairs for veterans heading to the nation's capital on an Old Glory honor flight. It's a simple yet critical step in ensuring a safe and memorable trip.
We want to make sure nothing happens to one of our veterans. They went through a war, most of them didn't get hurt. We don't want to get hurt on a wheelchair.
It's humbling. It's real humbling. Me, being a veteran myself, so to give back to them and to people that need it is real good. Feels great.
All the refurbished equipment is donated to the nonprofit organization Independence First, who then resells the equipment at the mobility store at a reduced cost to those that need it most.
It's an amazing program. You get it to people who need it, and you see every day the impact. And it seems kind of basic, but if you don't have a wheelchair or a bath chair, it's dramatically different life.
Badger State Industries runs the program within the prison, and taxpayers don't pay for it. But anyone here will argue the entire community benefits.
This program will teach them, I think, work ethic and the hands-on skills that they need to get out and have marketable skills when they get into the community. And that should equate to increased or reducing recidivism.
Giving back. Most of my life I've been taking, and now I'm giving back, so it feels good.
A man is facing charges after shooting 3 people outside of a Utah grocery store. One of the victims was a toddler battling cancer. CNN's Nicole Val reports.
We are coming here since November, and a lot of things happens to my family.
Taking her first steps out of the hospital tonight with a bullet fragment still in her leg, 3-year-old Esmeralda Padilla has had a long road for such a short life.
They took off a kidney, the left kidney, because She has a kidney cancer. We are here since November for her treatment.
The family from Las Vegas has called Primary Children's Hospital home for the last 5 months, but never expected to be here in the ER for something like this.
We are here every week, and they are surprised today because they are like, oh, we see Esmeralda every week here, and now.
The entire town of Vichy, Oklahoma has been evacuated due to a wildfire. Officials rescued 2 hunters trapped by the blaze in Dewey County, but a 54-year-old man is still missing. About 800 homes are threatened, and at least 3 have been destroyed so far. Police say they believe the fire has caused more damage in areas they can't access. Strong winds are fanning the flames. The fire had burned 19,000 acres and was only 20% contained late Thursday. For more on the weather here, let's head over to Aaliyah Harris.
Thank you, Rachel. So for our current natural temperatures, you see it's going to be a little bit cold in some places and a little hot in other places because we have a blizzard. All in the Midwest, so it's 43 in Seattle, Los Angeles sitting at 56, Denver at 36, and then over here in Atlanta 60, Chicago 43, Dallas at 73, and New York at 62. For today's high, it's going to be nice and warm today. High in it's going to be 80 degrees in Memphis, 80 in Clarksville, 80 in Nashville, and then over here in Knoxville it's going to be 80, and in Chattanooga. So tonight is going to be a little chilly, but you possibly just need a jacket or so. So it's going to be 63 in Memphis, 63 in Clarksville, 64 in Nashville, and then in Knoxville it's going to be 58 and 60 in Chattanooga. So the current temperature right now is 67 degrees with 18 miles per hour. And then tonight it's going to be a little bit chilly and it's going to be rainy, 90%. So for our 5-day forecast, as you see, it's going to be quite hot throughout the week, so go ahead and enjoy the nice spring weather we're finally going to have, and probably no more snow after that. So it's going to be 80, and of course today, and the low of 63. Saturday it's going to be thunderstorms with a high of 69 and a low of 48. Sunday is going to be a high of 53 and a low of 38 with mostly cloudy, little chance of sunshine. Monday is going to be cloudy with a few showers in the night and with a low of 36. Tuesday is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 72 and a low of 55. And APSU News TV will be right back.
The Green Bay Packers may be from Wisconsin, but they have enthusiastic fans all across the U.S., including Iowa, where the Packers tour bus made a special stop Wednesday. The team visited Camp Courageous, a respite care and recreational facility for individuals with disabilities. The air was thick with goodwill and team spirit as fans greeted current and former players. CNN's Josh Christensen reports.
The line was long and the cheers were loud as the Green Bay Packers tour bus rolled through Iowa for the first time in 5 years, making a stop at Camp Courageous in Monticello. Fans got to meet 3 former Packers, Antonio.
For more information on what's happening in sports, let's head over once again to Brice Bement for a look at your GovSports update.
Thanks, Brandon. Let's start with baseball. Austin Peay baseball beat rival Murray State University 14-11 on Wednesday, April 11th. Freshman Ethan Clark pitched 2.2 innings, providing a scoreless relief for the Govs. Senior Garrett Giovanelli hit the game-winning 2-run double in the 9th. The Govs rallied in the 9th, scoring 5 runs to get the non-conference win over Murray State. The Govs will play a series against Eastern Kentucky University at home, playing today, Friday the 13th at 6, Saturday at 4, and Sunday at 1. The games are also available to stream on the OVC Digital Network and GovSportsNet. Now on to softball. The Austin Peay softball team lost 8-2 against Middle Tennessee State University on Wednesday, April 8th. Sophomore Carly Matson had 3 of the Govs' 10 hits on Wednesday, including a solo home run, but it was not enough to get this win. The Govs played Jacksonville State University at home today at 3 and 5 p.m. The women's tennis team recently lost 2-5 against Murray State in the Battle of the Border. Claudia Yanes Garcia is officially back after injury, putting her out most of the season, and she came back hot, winning the number 3 singles. Her sister Lydia Yanes Garcia continued her winning record of 16-0 by winning her number 1 singles match. The Govs play today at 9 a.m. at Eastern Kentucky University. The Austin Peay men's tennis team was able to bounce back after a loss against St. Louis University by beating Eastern Illinois 5-2 on Saturday, April 7th. The Govs received their first Ohio Valley Conference win on Senior Day. Almontes Ozalias and Ale Drobish took the win with #1 doubles, as well as Chad Woodham and Evan Botdorf, who took the #2 doubles to get the win. The Govs play again today at 1 p.m. at Eastern Kentucky University. Now, the women's soccer team had a winning weekend. After 2 wins on the road to the University of West Georgia and again against the University of Montevallo, the Govs won 5-1 at home on Wednesday, April 11th against the University of Trevecca Nazarene. The Govs play again today against Lipscomb University at home at 6 p.m. That's all we have for sports. APSU-TV News will be right back.
The CEO of Facebook is back on Capitol Hill for his second day of hearings, and today questions are tougher. Mark Zuckerberg answered the lawmakers on issues ranging from user privacy to Russian interference to censorship. CNN's Natasha Shin is live on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was under fire on Capitol Hill before the House Energy and Commerce Committee.
I don't think that's hard for you to say yes to unless I'm missing something.
Members grilled Zuckerberg in the wake of the Cambridge Analytica scandal that exposed the data of up to 87 million Facebook users without their knowledge.
If a company fails to keep its promises about how personal data are being used, that breach of trust must have consequences.
Zuckerberg revealed his own data was exposed.
Was your data included in the data sold to the malicious third parties?
Yes.
Also at issue, Russian manipulation of the social media platform during the 2016 election.
For as long as Russia has people who are employed who are trying to perpetrate this kind of interference, it will be hard for us to guarantee that we're going to fully stop everything.
The hearing took a political turn on issues regarding censorship. Democrats expressed concern over fake news spread by Russian trolls as well as hate speech, while Republicans called out the CEO for allegedly censoring religious and conservative voices. Including Diamond and Silk, the pro-Trump sisters who gained notoriety during the 2016 campaign.
There are types of content like terrorism that I think that we all agree we do not want to have on our service.
Let me tell you something right now. Diamond and Silk is not terrorism.
Lawmakers also pushed Zuckerberg to back legislation to improve consumer privacy. Zuckerberg agreed regulation of his industry is inevitable.
Well, it's not the long-promised border wall, but it may be the next best thing. National Guard troops are focused on assisting with border security. The goal, according to the administration, is to make the country safer. CNN's John Lorink reports.
National Guard troops are settling in along the border that separates the U.S. from Mexico.
We're taking strong action to secure our border, stop illegal immigration, and restore the rule of law.
Texas has already deployed hundreds to the area, and more are expected to be added over the next few weeks.
This operation is necessary in order to deal with what has been an escalation of cross-border traffic.
The troops will help from the air and ground, acting as an extra set of eyes for ICE officers.
The National Guard is playing a complementary role to aid and support what the Border Patrol is doing.
In addition to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California have also pledged to send troops to the border. California Governor Jerry Brown said the 400 members from his state would not build the wall or enforce federal immigration laws. But President Trump still expressed gratitude to Brown for agreeing to participate, calling it a good move for the safety of the country.
I've ordered each United States Attorney's Office along the southwest border to have a zero-tolerance policy toward illegal entry. Our goal is to prosecute every case that is brought to us.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Defense Secretary James Mattis came to the White House Wednesday afternoon after President Trump's tweet warning of a missile strike on Syria apparently caught the Pentagon by surprise. CNN's Barbara Starr reports.
President Trump now using Twitter to promise an act of war, tweeting, "Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming nice and new and smart." This is the president who repeatedly said he would never telegraph military moves in advance.
America's enemies must never know our plans. I will not say when we are going to attack.
We no longer tell our enemies
our plans.
The president's startling tweet catching allies and the Pentagon by surprise. A spokesman told CNN the department does not comment on potential future military actions. But Defense Secretary James Mattis said the military is on standby.
We stand ready to provide military options.
U.S. intelligence agencies are locking down a final assessment of what chemical agent Syrian forces used.
We're still assessing the intelligence.
The next key decision, what targets to hit: airfields, helicopters, chemical storage sites, or escalate and hit Assad's regime, including government targets in Damascus. Satellites and other U.S. intelligence aircraft are now watching closely for signs that Assad, as well as Russian units, are using the advance notice to move aircraft, weapons, and personnel out of the way of a potential attack. But Russia also has a key military move it will likely play.
The Russians have the air defense capability employed in Syria that they could be a threat.
Moscow now knows to aim its radars and anti-air missiles towards airspace over the Mediterranean. European aviation authorities are already warning commercial airliners of possible missile strikes in the eastern Mediterranean in the coming hours. The U.S. hopes to get French and British aircraft and ships to be part of the strikes. The U.S. has 2 surface ships and possibly unacknowledged submarines off Syria ready to fire satellite-guided, highly precise Tomahawk cruise missiles.
Now in today's Health Minute, ask anyone who has ever tried to break a bad habit and they'll tell you it's easier said than done. But in today's Health Minute, CNN's Reed Bynum explains why that doesn't have to be the case.
Whether it's giving up smoking or junk food, there's at least one bad habit that most people would love to break, or at least have made countless attempts to break. Because habits can influence our behavior, they can be leveraged for positive change, but they can also hold back progress. A great rule of thumb, however, is to replace a bad habit with a better one. And one is often the inverse of the other, which can work in your favor, like eating clean is eating less junk and working out is being less sedentary. If you're wondering how long it takes to convert a bad habit into a good one, according to researchers from University College of London, on average, it takes a little over 2 months, and in some cases, even longer. So hang in there, and if you're worried about falling off the wagon, be mindful of what triggers those bad habits. You don't want to sabotage all your hard work. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Bynum.
A windstorm in western New York resulted in downed trees, power outages, and what ended up being the tiniest leg cast you've probably ever seen. CNN's Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
This may be the cutest broken leg ever, if that's even a thing. This little squirrel in western New York is on the mend after suffering a broken leg. It happened after a windstorm swept through the area, damaging trees and knocking out power. The Orphan Wildlife Center says a resident said she heard crying sounds after a tree fell, and what she found was 2 baby squirrels along with a downed nest. She brought the injured animals to the center and then to a local vet for treatment, and that's where this teeny tiny patient got her teeny tiny leg cast. Doctors are calling her Katerina and say she should be fine in a couple of weeks. And now to a serious non-animal related story. Just kidding! Many police departments have canine units, but officers in Troy, Michigan wanted felines on their force. It all started with a social media challenge. The department vowed it would get a cat if it had 10,000 Twitter followers by April. Twitter users obliged, and so the department started interviewing candidates for the job. The department made its choice and will now look to followers for naming suggestions. But if you think this new kitty cop's going to be out on the beat catching perpetrators, think again. Instead, it will be used for therapeutic purposes and making public appearances. As for the rest of the candidates, they were made available for adoption. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
A shocking revelation, Brice Bement has now turned the big 2-1, so congratulations.
Thank you,
on
very
the year of
excited.
life.
Yeah, I'm getting older.
What are you doing?
Well, my parents are coming in town because I live in St. Louis. So they're coming in town, and we also have a soccer game at 6 p.m. So come out and support the soccer team.
Yeah, she was talking about the soccer team when in fact she is a part of that game, so come out and see Brice.
Yeah, a big 21 and also hope for a big win.
Winning on your birthday, that sounds like something. A present you couldn't ask for.
Definitely, I agree. That's all I want, and it's a beautiful day outside too.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, Thursday, April 26, 2018, Carnival will be on the intramural field, games, food, and be sure to support the communications department.
Also, finals are on the way, so be on the lookout for those and be studying. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us in the interaction by liking us on Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV.
Thanks for watching another edition of your Govs News Weekend Update.
And as always, let's go Peay.